special guest. You know him from his motorcycle days on Son of Anarchy, and now he's riding into theaters as King Arthur. Give it up for Charlie Hunnam. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And this movie goes way back for you. King Arthur was one of your favorites.
It was a film, as kids do, you know, you latch on to films that you like and watch them over and over and over again. And when I was about 6 or 7, John Borman's Excalibur was one of my favorites. And, you know, it was a time when I'd already identified that I loved film, but I started to dream, as kids do, that maybe that would be what I could do as a career. And I asked my mom, like, how do they go about hiring actors? You know, I saw these guys riding horses and sword fighting. And I said, do they hire an actor that knows how to do those things? And my mom said, I'm not really sure, but I would imagine they hire someone who has the aesthetic and the heart and essence of the character that they're looking for, and then teaches them those skills. And I said, whoa, at 6 years old, I thought, learning to ride horses and sword fight sounds like pretty much the greatest job in the world. And now cut to 30 years later, it's my least favorite part of the job. So that's okay, though.
So on the film, of course, he's this character that you've always wanted to play. I read somewhere that you have a thing for props. So the big question is, did you get Excalibur? Did you get the sword?
You know, I didn't. I tried to, and you know,
you did. Were you literally like, nothing to see here?
Yeah, nothing to worry about here. You know, it's funny, on a film of this size, there's a lot of absurd jobs get created, and one of the jobs was the sword wrangler. There was a man whose job it was to look after the sword. He's this lovely old English fella.
You didn't have the heart.
No, I did. I absolutely did have the heart. Or lack of heart. And so one day I was just casually sort of walking out the studio, and he said, Charlie? I said, yeah. He goes, where are you taking the sword? I said, home, naturally. And he goes, you know what? I think you're so great. I would actually let you take this sword, but Guy had wanted to do something really nice for you. And so he's asked for a brand new sword to be made for you, and he's going to present it to you on wrap. And so I said, oh, that's so nice. And I gave him back the sword, and wrap came, and no sword arrived. I got bamboozled. So
and Guy just got called out.
Yeah, I know. I think Guy's here somewhere. If you see him, ask him where my damn sword is. Is that the reveal today? Are you going to bring the sword out for me?
I'm sorry. If so, we'll all be
Really?
Wow. Thank you.
Rubber sword.
I mean, I gotta say, this is nice. It's not quite what I was hoping for. I'm not sure if I needed to defend myself how well this would work. But
well, you know what?
I appreciate the effort.
We're going to take a look at a clip of you defending yourself here in King Arthur. Here's Charlie Hunnam.
Boy, both hands.
And you may have noticed my co-star in that scene, Mr. David Beckham. Pretty exciting.
I have been singing your praises since you stepped off the elevator. Can't imagine anyone but you playing this role. And Guy Ritchie had to be a little talked into it a bit about you.
Yeah, he did. You know, it's funny. As I'm sure we've all had this experience, Guy's films are so personal, and you get to feel so much of his personality in the films, and I've been an enormous fan of his. So over the years of endlessly watching his films, I sort of felt like I'd gotten to know him. And we also have a lot of people in common, and they'd said, you know, you and Guy would love each other if you met. You'd be two little peas in a pod. So I had sort of developed this illusion that we were friends. And so, oh, there's Guy right there, you cheeky monkey. Don't worry, guys. I got my own sword now.
Don't need yours.
Nothing to see here, Charlie. Nothing to see here.
Well, now it's going to be awkward telling this story in front of you. So I said, you know, I think, you know, I heard the guy was doing King Arthur, and I promptly threw my name in the hat, and guy threw it back out. Said, I think you're a nice chap, but I'm not really interested. And I said, sorry, mate, that's unacceptable. So I jumped on a plane and showed up his doorstep and said, let's have a cup of tea. And then by the end of that cup of tea, we'd, you know, I think he decided he quite liked me, so he let me audition, and then I finally got the job. So it was a happy tale in the end.
What was it about?
Thank you.
So what was it about it in the end about Charlie?
You're going to have to repeat. I'm a long way away.
What was it about Charlie that helped him get the role? How did he convince you?
It was enthusiasm. Charlie would not take no for an answer. He wouldn't take no for an answer, and eventually he turned up on my door, and I had to let him in.
It's funny, I think the moment, I was very, very skinny at the time, and obviously playing this role requires a bit of a robust physicality, and Guy had questioned me about my ability to do this because he hadn't really seen any of my work, and seen that in other movies I'd been quite formidable. So many times this idea of the physicality came up, and halfway through the audition I said, you know what, Guy, if you're that concerned about it, because you know these things are sometimes quite awkward, there's a lot of other actors also there auditioning, and I saw these guys creeping about the hallways of the hotel.
I'm getting yelled at. We're going to come back and see your training videos. We'll be right back.
Okay.
We're back with Charlie and Guy, and this is Charlie training. Ooh, his role, King Arthur. What, over 1,000 punches a day, Charlie?
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Is that a question? Sorry,
Was he always like that? Just very, you know, short to the point?
Yes, is the answer to that. Now, Charlie, he was the man for the job, but unfortunately, when someone said to me, Charlie Hunnam, I had a completely different actor in mind. And that was the reason I was so apprehensive about meeting Charlie Hunnam. Sorry about Charlie, you probably didn't know that, Charlie. So eventually when he did...
It all worked out.